as you look at a funnel, the question is, how do we get leads at the top of the funnel? Leads at the top of the funnel mean that they're, usually not very aware of your organization. They may have never heard of your organization before in the past, and you want them to gain some awareness so that you can interest them in what you're doing, and you're just moving them down the funnel so that they can consider you when they're going to make a purchase decision, and that they then go and buy your product or service. Usually what happens is up at the top of the funnel, we're trying to get new leads into our funnel, meaning that there's a bunch of people out there who don't know about us. These are what I call prospects. They probably fit our target market, but we may not have enough information about them to make a clear cut decision on whether or not they fill into the target market. And we're saying, okay, we're going to go out to these prospects. We're going to try to market to them in a way that they then respond to us. Now, what does that mean? It means that they express interest in something that we are providing to them. So the more complex the sale, the more things that they could express interest in. They could just sign up to see a video. They could sign up to get a free ebook. They could do one of these kind of activities, and then that would classify them as a marketing qualified lead. What that technically means is that we've taken somebody who's a prospect, they've become a lead by responding to something that we put out in the marketplace. I said, I'm interested in XYZ. It's related to our product or service in some way, shape, or form. And then we say, okay, so that's now a lead. Now we have to qualify that lead. Is that lead, do we want to work with that lead, or is that kind of a junk lead? If you do want to work with that lead, if it's a qualified lead, then it would be a marketing qualified lead. That's the next step down. A marketing qualified lead just means that you want the marketing team to spend their time, energy, and resources attempting to move that lead down the funnel until it becomes a sales qualified lead. Sales qualified lead is pretty easy to determine. That means that the sales team has agreed that a sales qualified lead is one that they want to talk to, right? So there's a number of different criteria. Every organization has a different criteria for what a sales qualified lead should be. Marketing qualified lead tends to be a little bit more agreed upon. The reason for the difference in sales qualified leads being a little bit less common across different organizations is that essentially sales teams operate very differently. Some sales teams are very, what word do I want to use? Outbound oriented. And so they say, okay, give us even things that are lukewarm leads and we'll have somebody go and call on these things, call on these leads. But other organizations say, no, it's not a sales qualified lead until that person is ready and wanting to sit down and talk to a salesperson. That's a lot harder to get to, obviously. It takes a lot more nurturing from the marketing team to get to that place. So marketing qualified lead almost always means that they fit in our target market and they have responded to our communication in such a way that we would say, great, we want to market to them, and they clearly want us to market to them because they've expressed interest in what we're doing. Sales qualified lead means your sales team and your marketing team have agreed that we are going to pass these along to sales. These are going to become sales leads, and we're going to assign a salesperson to them when they meet a specific criteria. Generally speaking, I mean, if it's a booked meeting, then it's obvious, right? Okay, so a lot of the marketing campaign says book a meeting, and then you just nurture that lead until they say, okay, I want to book a meeting, and it's obviously a very hot sales lead because they want to talk to a salesperson. But at a lot of organizations, for example, there are some gray areas. For example, if you were to ask me, and we're using a webinar as part of our strategy, I would tell you that someone from sales or someone from marketing or someone from product or some subject matter expert or whatever, somebody should follow up with every single one of the leads that attended the webinar that fit in our target market. Somebody should call them within a day, within 24 hours, ideally. Perhaps even the same day that the webinar has run. Somebody should go out and connect with those folks. Does that make those leads sales qualified leads? Well, you got to talk to your sales team and come to an agreed upon approach to at what point in time does something become a sales qualified lead.